Well, thank you for coming to my house. You guys have been following me for a while about Redneck Riviera. You know, that phrase goes back so far back. It goes back to the early 1960s. And it was the phrase that people would use to say, kind of tongue-in-cheek, well, we can't afford to go to the French Riviera, so we'll go to the Redneck Riviera, right? Because they could afford to go there. Well, that's the first time I ever felt salt water, too. That's the first time I ever got stung by a jellyfish. Was down in Panama City Beach. And I remember my dad, we were up in the double wide up in Amarillo, Texas, and saved up his money and put us in the station wagon and drove us down to Panama City Beach and got out there in the water. And I said, man, this must be heaven, honestly. What a beautiful place. And I know my dad took a lot of pride in knowing that he could bring his family somewhere cool like that. And so when I saw the phrase Redneck Riviera had never been trademarked, I went, I think I'm a pretty good guy to run with that phrase. You know, I understand it, and I believe what it stands for, the work hard, play hard crowd of America. The true royalty class, you know, the true elites of our country, I would say are the work hard, play hard folks. As I've been able to roll this whiskey out, it's 2 years to this week that the first bottles of Redneck Riviera whiskey ever came out. I don't know anything about making whiskey, but I do know I like what I like, and wouldn't it be cool if we had America's answer to Crown Royal? That'd be kind of cool. So I worked on it for a whole year, 2017, over 200 different variations of this blend to get it to what is finally now in the bottle, in this bottle right here, that one right there with the white label, Redneck Riviera whiskey. I said, that might be the smoothest stuff I ever had, but I got one more person to run it by. The most experienced whiskey drinker I've ever met in my life, my Granny Rich, who's been sipping whiskey since World War II. So over 2 years, this whiskey's been rolling. We're now nationwide, coast to coast, in states that I never thought in a million years would gravitate towards a brand called Redneck Riviera. One important thing to me, and it's instilled in me since I was a little kid. When I was 5 years old out there hoeing weeds out of a jalapeno patch in Amarillo, Texas. And I made my first $5 for hoeing weeds all week. And my dad gives me the $5 and he says, now son, you know you got a tithe on that. And I said, what's tithe, Daddy? He said, son, tithe is the thing, it's 10% at least. It could be more than 10, but a minimum of 10% of whatever you ever make, whether you're broke, rich, or in the middle, you're supposed to give 10% of whatever you make to other people that need it. And if you do that, God will bless your business. He'll bless whatever you're doing. Well, I've carried that on, and I've taught my kids that. Well, with Redneck Riviera, our 10% goes to the Folds of Honor, which is an organization that puts kids through college who lost a parent in combat. Can you think of a stronger way to say thank you for your service than looking after the family members that are left behind? I can't. We are now at $389,000 that we have sent to the Folds of Honor in 2 years alone. We can clap for that. So the whiskey's doing incredibly well. Our second anniversary, you can see the family has grown, you know. So we started out with this one bottle here. This is the original Redneck Riviera whiskey. This is where it started. And then, of course, not long after that, people started saying, well, are you going to come with a reserve version of your whiskey? I said, well, if I did, I know who I'd name it after. Granny Rich, right? So here comes the Granny Rich Reserve. And this is the same exact blend as Redneck Riviera Original, but 4 years older, just like Granny is. We say it's a little smoother and a little older and a little stronger. This is now, I believe, we're beyond 12 states with Granny Rich Reserve and growing. And then here comes the Howdy Dew. Now, this is a thing that, I don't know if y'all remember, like when you was younger and you go to a party and nobody's really got a proper cocktail. So they just dump whatever they got in a bucket and pour some juice in it and run their cup through it and they go, hey, it's a party. It's kind of along that kind of thinking, except this one's put together very well. So if you can imagine what Hawaiian Punch tastes like, but it's 5.5%. That's what that can's got. It's called Howdy Dew. We say, when the long hot summer's getting the best of you, grab yourself an ice cold Howdy Dew, right? So it's a little hee-haw in it. It's fun. It's like your rowdy uncle that shows up at the family reunion. That's what Howdy Dew is. That is also moving through multiple states right now. That's going to be a big year for that. Now the final piece of my puzzle that has come to bear recently is Redneck Riviera Jerky. Now people say, well, why would you do that? Well, because I don't know if you're a jerky lover like I am, but man, if you want to eat something that ain't going to make you, put on the weight, but it tastes good and gives you some energy, straight meat will do that for you, right? So I started working on these flavors with my friends at CJC, Jack Link. These guys come into bear. This is actually a Redneck Riviera whiskey barbecue. So this jerky actually has Redneck Riviera whiskey in it. That's what that one is. This one is called Amarillo Heat, my hometown, Amarillo, Texas. It's got a little jalapeno in it, right? It's good, you'll like it. And then probably my favorite of these three, and we're launching with 3 flavors. It's called Spicy Fried Pickle. And those checks to Folds of Honor are gonna grow and grow and grow. So on the count of 3, can I get a hell yeah? 1, 2, 3.
Hell yeah!
I will continue to push, and I will continue to lay down what I think is important, and I will continue to support those men and women who have supported us. On the count of 3, give me hell yeah. 1, 2, 3. Hell yeah! Bring her down now.